Good morning. First of all, I would like to answer your question that you sent to me yesterday. A very good question. Why do you not feel like I'm talking to you? Why do you feel like I'm talking to everybody else but you? Why can you not relate to me? Why is there no connection? You feel that I don't care and that I'm filming this for somebody else because I mentioned their sister, their wife, their marathon, and their wonderful skills in construction industry, right? It isn't you. Let me tell you something. A few days ago I told you that if you want to serve her, if you want her to want to control you, you have to offer her options. You have to connect to her. Now, this is one way to do it. Second way to do it is by initiating contact. I'm not your high school teacher, and I will not say, oh, thank you for turning up in class, and go like, okay, I'm here, I'm sitting here, give me homework now, teacher. Teacher is being paid by a school principal, and that is her job. I'm not your teacher. I'm not being paid by the school principal, and I am not going to appreciate your presence in class just because you have signed up for the program. You have to do something, because if you sit there like a lying rock, water will not flow under you. And if you want the water to flow under you, you have to move, you have to do something. This might be against your nature, but unless you realize that if you do something and you ask questions, you offer choices, you show initiative, you ask for advice, you give constructive criticism, you give sincere praise, whatever, discuss certain issues, there will be no connection, and you will not feel that I'm talking to you. Now, there is this group of other people, not you, who do feel that I'm talking to them, and they know that when I look in this camera, I'm looking into their eyes. Why? Because prior they have input some effort, some time into building this connection. They write to me that they're training for the marathon and that they will run, and that I give them motivation for it, perhaps in some way, a little push, a little extra push that they need to train even harder to be able to run half a marathon. And I am, of course, engaged in that conversation. Go, okay, well, this is good. I'm giving somebody motivation. What a great feeling. Let's ask him how he did, how well he did in the marathon. Was he happy with the result, with the time, or what did his wife say? I'm sincerely curious. But if I know nothing about you, except that you're number 500 something, I got no connection, I got no questions to ask you, because you haven't written to me and said that, well, your sister is sick and you're worried about her, and, well, you've heard this and this about Thai politics, what do I think on that subject? Anything. If it strikes the desire to engage with you, it's good. If it doesn't, you did something wrong, or you didn't do anything. And by doing anything and sitting like a rock and expecting, oh well, I've signed up for the program, I clicked on the button subscribe, now I expect a lot of emails with tasks and questions asking me about who I am. You cannot expect any person to be interested in you unless you arouse that interest in them by perhaps being interested in them, or offering them, say, a story about something exciting that happened in your life. And there is somebody with cats, a great number of cats, and sending me pictures of their cats, and that is interesting too. That is interesting to follow, because, you know, now I hear little stories about their cats, and because I'm a cat person, it was lovely. But again, that you can't hear cat stories for a month or 2 or 3 months. Once or twice it's okay, but then it gets sort of like, okay, let's have a cat story. I'm not being harsh, and I'm not being impolite, and I don't want to hurt you. I want to tell you what the reality is. And the situation that you're facing with me, not being able to relate, can be repeated with anybody else, and then you're surprised. Well, I met this nice lady and she's just not interested in me. What have you done to get her interested in you? Have you told her about certain qualities of your wonderful personality that might fill her gaps, just what she needs. No, I haven't told her much because she didn't ask me anything. I can't go bragging about myself. Okay, but we have to start somewhere. I can't send individual questions to everybody. The initial idea was that we would create a website with very long profiles with questions that I have made, questions that I'm interested in getting answers from you. More deep questions, not your height, your weight, and your eye color, but your thoughts, your obstacles in life, your dreams, your tendencies, your whatever it would have been. But that was, I guess, the wrong path, because the website never happened, designer disappeared, and that idea sort of vanished in the fog. Now, if anybody wants to take over that idea and is able to make sort of a very complex website with this sort of structure where it isn't about Lena, it isn't about what Lena wants, and it isn't Lena's blog. That's the last thing I want. I'm here talking in front of you every day. I don't want to write more about myself. Anything that you want to know, I'm here to tell you, but not in writing. Don't like to write. And I write emails with my phone. I forgot to mention yesterday. I write emails with my smartphone with a tiny little keyboard. So when you get a one-line answer, it's like already a great investment of thumb strength and power into that message. So don't get offended. It's not a dismissive answer at all. Okay. Website. Had an interest from a web designer, but you said that it might be a bit too complex to build something like profiles and forum and being able to update your profiles. So it's not something that you could do. Maybe somebody else could do that and you could work together in combining the efforts. But what I don't want to happen again is me saying, I would like to make a website, and you say, yes, I could make it for you, and then disappear in 2 weeks or a month. It brings disappointment. It brings discouragement to do something for other people. You know, we always meet these setbacks when I'm giving and I'm helpful and I'm, I don't know, generous to other people, and then something happens, somebody does something nasty to you, and then you think that all the other people are exactly the same and they will do exactly the same thing, so you just stop giving and stop being generous and stop loving people. That should not happen. Let's stay away from that sort of dynamic. If somebody does something bad to you, if somebody cheats on you or lies to you or promises something and doesn't do it, doesn't mean that everybody else is like that. You don't have to be careful. You just have to recover and go on and repeat the same mistake again, perhaps by trusting people and by giving them chances. Or my Lena theory is, do not expect anything from people. Somebody said, like our web designer, ex-web designer said, I can make the site from scratch, I can make the site for you, and I'm a great web designer. I said, okay, thank you, that's really great, and I will send you some content and write what I want the site to be. But you don't expect, wow, that's it, I'm gonna have a website in 2 months, excellent. No, if it happens, it happens. It's still a matter of chance, because it is not your responsibility. It depends on many factors, on what the content of your videos is, and maybe it doesn't really relate to that person anymore. It's like, oh, what a load of crap, why am I wasting my time building a site for her? Okay, that is understandable. If you feel that you're not getting anything from me or from the videos, you don't want to invest your time or effort or money into me, right? You don't want to do anything for this person because you think what they say is a load of crap. So why even bother? Good. And I'm not offended by that sort of comment. Everybody has their own path. Sometimes our path our paths cross. Sometimes they go together, go along. But never forever. There will be this parting at some stage, unless we are meant to die in the same grave. I mean, meant to be buried in the same grave and die in the same, I don't know, plane crash. Then the paths can end together, but usually it's together and then separate and together. That's why, or maybe I should mention this. Who was it? Oh yeah, when you said to me that 60% of marriages, was it 40% of marriages end in divorce? Anyways, a great number. Depends on the country too. But a lot of marriages end in divorce, and so that, of course they do, because people change and evolve, and we are not the people we were 10 years ago. How can it not end in divorce? In fact, if it doesn't end in divorce, people probably really sick of each other by the time they are 30 years down the track in marriage. And if they're not, it's a wonderful miracle because they made it work. But if they're just normal people with average understanding of other people and average desire to make anything work, the marriages become hell after a number of years, depending on how fast you change and evolve. If I met some of my ex-boyfriends back from my 20s, I don't think I could last with them a week. Why? Because we're different people now, and what if I married them at that stage? We would probably compromise on our personal evolution and choose a way that would suit both. And in a way it's limiting, and in a way it's also a challenge, an interesting challenge to make something work. Of course, I believe that any relationship has a potential to turn into a lifelong relationship. Doesn't matter who the person is. If you invest enough time and effort into making it work, into polishing it and working on the little details, trying to improve certain aspects, and not necessarily making sacrifices, but listening and understanding. And if there are problems, trying to solve them instead of turning all resentful and saying like, well, it's his problem, he's just that way, I can't help it, I tried and I gave up. That's the worst it could be, because you get stressed from it and your life becomes hell. And we only live once, so why make our own life hell? My partner is the best partner in the world because it is my conscious choice. And the house I live in is the best house in the world for me, because this is my own choice. If you think about it this way, hello, somebody's here. If you think about it this way, you will realize that life is not as complicated, not as hell. Okay, got a visitor? Thank you. Bye-bye.